Now, I'm not saying you have to do these 7 exercises. All I'm saying that is you do, it'll probably make life a hell of a lot easier. What's up, everyone? David here. We got a new video for y'all today. But before we get into it, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification so you don't miss out on any new videos. Because remember, new videos on this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. So don't miss out. Now today we're going to go ahead and be talking about workout programs, and specifically what are the exercises that you should be doing. Now, me personally, I'm going to emphasize that I really feel you should be doing these 7 exercises. It doesn't matter what your goal is, whether it be to gain muscle, build strength, lose fat, whatever it is. These 7 movement patterns, there's a reason why they're important, because literally they will have carryover to almost everything you do in life. Anything that we do, just normal ADL, activities of daily living. Literally, it is exactly what it is that it sounds like. What are the activities you do on your daily living? Going up and down stairs, sitting on a chair, picking things off the ground, lifting your arms to put things up on a shelf, walking from point A to point B, pulling a door open, pushing a drawer closed, whatever it is. All of those movements are exact representation of other exercises that you should be doing in the gym. All of those movements require your muscles to contract to actually do that portion. So why not train your muscles in those movement patterns to make those activities easier? And the reason why I emphasize it is because, let's be honest, as we get older, do many of you, or are you going to work out? Or maybe look at your parents or your grandparents. Do they work out? There's a big possibility that the answer to that question is no. And how is that going to hinder them? Pay attention to the way that they're standing up from the chair. Can they easily just stand up without the use of their arms? Or do they have to push off the handles to get up? Or do they have to grab onto something and then pull themselves up? Do they need to grab onto their walker and pull? It's little things. You gotta start relying on other people or other objects. But there comes to a time when, what if that object is not here? What if they don't have other people around them? When it comes to going up and down stairs, especially as you get older, do you not start losing your balance? Do you not have that single leg strength anymore? Do you have to not rely more on the rail? But as you get older, your grip strength also starts to weaken. So sooner or later, as you get older, you're not gonna be able to go up and down stairs. So you either A, have to just stay on the first floor, or B, you have to get one of those sliding electric chairs that go up and down the railing. It's little things off of that. As you get older, ask some of your parents or maybe some of your older siblings, whoever it may be, how many times have it what just seems to be a casual, oh, I'm gonna go ahead and pick that object off the ground. I'm gonna carry the bin of laundry, pick it off the ground, the bag of groceries, let's go ahead and pick it off the ground. And as they start reaching down, they feel pop in their back. Man, why? It's not like it was that heavy. They've done it a million times before, but all of a sudden now just something snapped. That's your sign of aging. Your body's not used to moving in that pattern, and the longer it goes, the higher risk of injury may happen. So let's go ahead and start addressing these movement patterns in the gym. The movements I'm talking about are the 7 primal movement patterns. Literally anything we do is some type of variation or combination of these 7 movements. So let's get into it. Number 1 is going to be the squat. I don't care what type of squat that you do. If you got any preferences, whether it be with a barbell, whether it be with a machine, or even some type of modification of some type of squat, all I'm talking about is bending your hips, bending your knees, using your quads, using your glutes to lock out those knees and lock out those hips. So me personally, what are the big 3 that I go with? I'm talking about regular barbell back squats, hack squats, leg press. Those are the big 3 that I do. That is my squat movement patterns. You figure it out. If you want to use a dumbbell for goblet squats, if you just want to go ahead and do body weight squats, if you want to do box squats, if you want to use the hack squat, Smith machine, I don't care. Just find something that mimics you going up and down exactly as if you're sitting down in a chair. What is the carryover to actual activities of daily living? Well, the most obvious one, like I just said, sitting on a chair. You don't want to be the type of person where you got to push off the handles each time. Why can't you be the type of person where you can easily stand up and come down? Or you're going to be the type of person where when you sit down, you start making noises like, oh, you gotta go real slow, and at the last minute, you kind of just let yourself go like that. Why are you letting yourself go like that? Do you not have the leg strength anymore? Are your muscles in your quads, hamstrings, glutes, everything atrophy? Come on, we gotta try to preserve our overall health. We gotta think long term, and it's gonna be little things like this, addressing these type of exercises that are really gonna improve the quality of our life as we get older. Second movement, in my opinion, is a slight variation, and the only reason why I say that is because it works the same muscle groups as a squat movement pattern, and I'm talking about the lunge. Now, I know many of you probably already know what a lunge is, but what we're really looking at here is single leg strength and single leg support. So it doesn't always necessarily have to be a typical lunge like we see everyone doing in the gym, whether it be a forward, reverse, or walking lunge. No, it could even be things like a stationary lunge, or it can be things like a step up. And I would even go as far as saying maybe like a single leg extension, but that kind of defeats the purpose. But it has to be something where you're pushing off the ground with mainly one leg. And how does that carry over? Think about when we go up and down stairs, are you not pushing off of one leg at a time? If we're crossing on a sidewalk and it's time to get stepped up onto the curb, are we not pushing off of one leg? For those of you who are a little older, some of you, if you got older parents or you got grandparents, the risk of having a fall increases. And what happens when we trip and we fall? We right away, we put one leg out in front of us to help catch us. But as you get older, you start losing your balance, you start losing your coordination, your reflexes are a lot slower. And to top it all off, maybe in case you did actually get your leg out in front of you in time, now you don't even have the leg strength to actually push yourself up, to catch yourself, and you end up falling. And that's why we see a lot of the older people, that's why we hear the reports that they broke a hip. It's because of the risk of falls, and it's increasing with age, and we don't got the leg strength, single leg strength, to help keep ourselves up. So again, in your workout programs, on your leg days, include at least one exercise where you're working one leg at a time. You got to push off of that one leg. Again, any type of lunge variation, any type of step up. Hell, if you even want to go on a leg press, do a single leg press. You just need single leg movement where you're pushing your leg away from, you're pushing your foot into the ground, and you'll be good to go. Third, we're going to go ahead and look into the hinge. Hinge realistically is looking at one primary joint. I'm talking about the hips. Hinge movement patterns differ from squat movement patterns in the way that we're in the hinge, we're really emphasizing bending at the hip, and whereas in a squat, we're bending at the hip and bending the knees at the same time. So what are some good ones? Deadlifts, RDLs, back extensions. Now, how does this carry over? Anything where we're picking something off the ground, that is exactly what it is, a hinge. So does a deadlift not mimic you picking something off the ground? In fact, you are picking something off the ground. You know, you're picking up the barbell. RDLs, same thing, just slightly different because we're trying to manipulate the way our knee is bent. It's a little bit less knee bend compared to a deadlift. A back extension, same thing, we're just bending at the hip. So we're talking about working the muscles now of your lower back down to your glutes, down to your hamstrings, the posterior chain, meaning the muscles in the back of your body. Those are good. We want to go ahead and train them. When was the last time you know someone, or your parents, someone older, they pick something off the ground, they start rounding their back, boom, something pops, they got a hernia. You never know because we're not used to training these muscle groups. We're not used to moving in these movement patterns. So let's go ahead. The way that we're going to be moved during our day-to-day lives, based on whatever responsibilities it is that we're doing, let's go ahead and move that way in the gym. We get stronger in the gym with these type of exercises. It will go ahead and carry over to everything else we do. For some of you parents out there, maybe you got little kids, when you go and pick them up, you want to be able to have the strength to actually do so with good form, because you don't want to pick them up, there goes something popped in your back and you accidentally let go. It's little things like that you got to start thinking of. So long-term help, pick heavy things off the ground at the gym. It will make picking things off the ground outside the gym a lot easier. Next, we got push. Anything away from your body. And we're actually going to divide it up into two portions. We got horizontal push, means you're pushing something away in front of you like this. And then we got vertical, which means you're lifting something over and away from you like this. Both of them equally important when it comes to training these muscle groups. Now we're mainly looking at the chest, the front delt, and the tricep. Those are our pushing muscles. How does that apply? Well, if we ever had to grab something and put it up onto the high shelf, or we have to grab something and then slow and control, take it back down from the shelf, or if we got to push a drawer close, or we got to push, a car door close, all those things are using these same muscle groups. We got to pick something up and put it out in front of us right here. We don't want to, mess up something in our shoulder. Some of you, if you really struggle with the squat, like we mentioned earlier, pushing off the handles to push yourself up, what muscles are you using at that point to push? You're extending your elbow. That's tricep. Does this not mimic a tricep push now? So you see, a lot of these movements have carryover into others. So we got to make sure we train everything evenly. So when it comes to horizontal push, any type of pressing, bench press, machine press, dumbbell press, whatever it may be, even push-ups, bodyweight push-ups, that can work as well. You just need something where it's going away from you, and then you can manipulate it with all the different angles. So if you're going from a flat bench to an incline, okay, that's still push, and then eventually the more incline you get, well, now we got our vertical press. So now we're looking at shoulders. So whether it be with a machine, barbell, dumbbells, all of those are fine, because again, it really mimics those of you who have to pick things up, put them up on a shelf and back down. So jobs that I can think of, a lot of warehouse workers do not have to grab and put things up on a shelf. A lot of you that work in retail and you're stocking up the shelves, a lot of that movement right there, you get strong with it, it will really help you out. Similar to the push, when it comes to pull, same thing. We got a horizontal pull, and then we got a vertical pull. Now, whatever it is that you're grabbing is away from you, and you got to pull it in towards you. So now we're talking about our back and our biceps. Those are the two major muscle groups that we're going to be working. So think of it the opposite. So now instead of pushing a door closed, we're pulling it open. We got a bag of groceries that we got to lift up onto the counter. Now we're pulling it up to put it onto the counter. So you see things like that. Again, just like the hinge, we're talking about posterior chain. Just because your back is not visible, just because it's behind you, doesn't mean that you shouldn't train it. Especially a lot of you guys out there. I know a lot of you really prioritize the biceps, the pecs, because those are the show muscles. When someone's looking at us head on, that's all we see. But your back, those lats, those traps, all of those are equally as important. You have to train them. Just because you can't see them right away doesn't mean they're not there. Go ahead and train your lats. So I'm talking about any type of rowing exercise. There's so many you can choose from, whether it be a one-arm dumbbell row, or it could be something like a T-bar row, or it could be like a seated cable row. Anything that you can where you're pulling your arms towards you, that will work. That's going to cover the horizontal. But when we're talking about the vertical, realistically, there's only two things that you can do. Some type of pull down motion with the cable or bodyweight pull-ups. Many of you, especially if you're a beginner, you probably can't do pull-ups. Or if you're a little on the heavier side, overweight, then yeah, you can't do pull-ups. That's fine. Go ahead and go on a cable machine and pull whatever weight you can. All of this is really going to help you out with these activities of daily living. Sixth movement, now we're talking about rotation. So we keep talking about all these different joints and pushing, pulling, squatting, hinging, but we're kind of avoiding this midsection right here. And this right here, our core. I just really want to emphasize, core is not just abs. Core are your abs, your obliques, your erector spinae, all the muscles right here in this midsection. Everything from right here to right here, front, side, back, all of that is your core. All of it's equally important. But there's one particular motion that we really want to be on the lookout for. I'm talking about rotation, moving side to side like this. How many times do you know or have heard someone, they pick something up and then they slightly rotate, boom, to put it somewhere else, and then, oh, something happened, they felt a pop? Or how many of you early in the morning, you're so stiff that you got to pull one of these, and you have to and you keep forcing it to crack? Why is it so stiff in the first place? Why does you feel like something is wrong there? Start training it at the gym. I'm talking about just real basic exercises. Something like just grab a weight, twist side to side like that, or even something like, one of these, you keep a weight on one side, just move this. Your spine can move in multiple directions. Everyone keeps thinking that your spine has to be stationary, it has to be so rigid and so stiff. No, our spine is meant to move around in multiple directions. So let's go ahead and train it in multiple directions, but I really want to put an emphasis on this direction right here, twist. So you can go ahead and grab a cable and pull it, grab a weight plate, go like this. You can even go down the ground. I've seen a couple girls, they do their planks and then they rotate their hips. Whatever you got to do, just train this movement right here. Think about it. What are the things that we do? If you see the cashiers, what are they doing at the supermarket or anywhere, retail? They're standing in one spot. They're grabbing the items, scanning, and putting it over here. That's a lot of rotation. When you're cooking and you're over the counter, okay, let me grab the ingredients on this side. Let me grab the ingredients here. See, it's a lot of moving around. It's a lot of rotation. If you're an athlete, you definitely are going to be doing a lot of rotation. This portion right here, all your power that's generated from your legs is going to be transferred over to your upper body, and it's this right here. That's that transfer portal. So you want to really go ahead and emphasize it. When we go ahead and we're sitting, we're driving, and it's time to open the door and go ahead and get out of the car, what happens? We kick our legs out like this, and then the rest of our body. So you see, all of that is rotation. Let's go ahead and strengthen it. This one's really more for injury prevention, because the last thing you want is to twist, boom, pop. And last movement pattern, and honestly, in my opinion, probably the easiest to start implementing is gate. Not Gate, like a gate that divides up two houses, not like the fence type of gate. I'm talking about Gait, gate. That means your walking pattern, the way that you walk. Everyone's gait is a little different. Look at the way this person's walking compared to the way this person's walking. They move in different ways. Your gait is important. Moving from point A to point B, that is one of the most foundational movement patterns that almost everyone will be doing at some point or another. So go ahead and train it. And it could be as simple as you just going on walks. All these other movement patterns are good for strengthening and building a muscle, but realistically, you can think of your gait, your walking, as a way to get your cardio and get your steps in, go outside, go on a walk, get some sunlight, things like that. I'd like to take it up a notch and actually do it weighted. So whatever it is I am going to be walking, I'm going to find a way to add some type of load onto it. So I might do some farmer's carry. I'll walk with dumbbells. What does that mimic? You carrying in the groceries. Or I might put a weight or a sandbag right here up on my shoulder and I'll walk with it. What does that mimic? Some of you, if you got a lot of groceries, do you not carry the 5-gallon water bottle up here? Some of you blue collar boys out there, blue collar jobs, do you not carry the bags of concrete up on your shoulder? Or for those of you who are contractors and you're framing up a new building, all the 2x4s, all the lumber you have to carry, do we not see them put it over their shoulder? There's just so many things that we can do to add weight to our walking that will carry over. Think about when you're carrying a load of laundry, are you not walking with weight? So now you're combining multiple movement patterns. You did the hinge movement to pick the load of laundry off the ground, and now you're doing the walking, which is your gait, to carry from point B, but at the same time, you're also pulling that weight towards you. So we're doing that rowing motion to keep the weight here, to keep that laundry here, instead of just keeping it out in front of us. See, when it comes to a lot of these movement patterns, anything that we do day in, day out is a combination of those movements. It's not always isolated. You're not always just moving your arms up this way to put something up on a shelf. No, you're squatting down to grab the groceries, coming back up, and now you're curling the weight up and now putting it up over. So you see, everything is a combination of these 7 movement patterns. So let's make sure we actually address all 7 in our day-to-day workouts. So there you have it, everyone. Again, I just really want to emphasize, I don't care what your goal is. If it's to build muscle, build strength, lose fat, whatever it is, everyone can benefit from strengthening up these 7 movements. A squat, a lunge, a hinge, push, both vertical and horizontal, pull, both horizontal and vertical, rotation, and gait. Get all 7 done at the gym at some point or another. Train them at least once or twice per week. You'll see so many improvements and so much carryover to the other things you do outside of the gym that are not even fitness related. Just little tasks. Getting up and down from a chair, going up and down a flight of stairs, putting your groceries up in the cabinet, everything you're going to see improvement in. So hopefully this video was helpful. Comment down below if it was. Comment down below any other video suggestions you'd like to see me do, whether it be about mindset, motivation, nutrition, diets, workouts, programs, whatever it is. Comment down below. I'd be more than happy to help y'all out. Be sure to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on any new videos, because remember, new videos on this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. So don't miss out. And on Instagram and TikTok, same thing. Be sure to follow me on both accounts. I put all my links down in the description below. With that being said, I'll catch y'all next time.